So Fable, guys, a very popular IP that hasn't really seen the light of day in quite some time. We've really gotten in, 3 Fable games up to this point, and they're very coveted and people absolutely love Fable who have played it before, but they've been waiting and waiting for a sequel, and myself included, I've always wanted to see a continuation of the Fable franchise. Well, with that being said, where is Fable 4? And more information has come out, guys, about Fable 4, that this is a game that is happening, and in an article that was written by Sam Loveridge from Games Radar, this article goes as follows. Fable 4 is happening. It's story-focused and everything else we know so far. So prepare to return to Albion in Fable 4 by learning everything we know so far about the rumored title. So obviously, guys, at this very point, Fable 4 is rumored, but there's been a lot of leaks that have come out basically stating that Fable 4 is going to come. The thing is, man, what has taken them so long to make this game, to make Fable 4? And that could be another video for another day, but I think it's exciting because we are getting a lot of leaks as well as some information to kind of back up that there very well might be a Fable 4 coming in the foreseeable future. 2020 has to be the year that we at least hear about Fable 4 in an official capacity. With the Xbox Series X actually arriving in the holiday 2020 season, we're going to need some more upcoming Xbox Series X games to be excited about, and Fable 4 surely has to be one of them. It is apparently in development at Playground Games, the studio that has brought you the glorious Forza Horizon series. We know that courtesy of a huge Fable 4 leak that emerged a while back, which revealed that a massive chunk of the gameplay and core themes may have changed, including that the game is likely set across multiple planets and could even involve time travel. Madness. First of all, I want to say this, guys, before we go onwards. Playground Games, this is kind of exciting that they're the ones who are apparently going to be developing Fable 4. Forza Horizon, even though I don't like it that much as far as a franchise is concerned, it definitely, I have a lot of respect for it because I think a lot of people in that community, they are very passionate about Forza Horizon. They love Playground Games. So this is exciting. There's been a lot of success with Forza Horizon, so I think that there's something that maybe they can translate over to Fable 4. It's hard to say because, I mean, going from a racing game to a game like Fable is very, very different, but I'd be very interested to see kind of what they come up with here. Especially, I love where it says that it's likely set across multiple planets. I love that. I really hope that that's the case because if that's true, that really just, when you're talking multiple planets, that really expands upon the universe that is Fable. It expands the lore, that story. And, they could make multiple games over time in the Fable universe if you're talking multiple planets, obviously, because you could explore so many of those. Interestingly, Xbox's Phil Spencer has an answer as to why we didn't see Fable 4 at E3. He says Xbox wants to make sure that when we talk about things to come, whether it's Fable or not, that the team feels very solid about what they are doing. I will hearken back to the Marvel MMO. Anybody remember us announcing a Marvel MMO? We didn't even have a team that was signed that would do the Marvel MMO. Sounds like Microsoft learned their lessons from that mistake, as Spencer goes on to talk about how his team decides when is the right time to officially confirm which games are on the horizon. Running a studio organization and making sure we're talking about games at the right time when we know what we're trying to build. I'm not making any comment specifically about Fable. It's about anything in the portfolio that we have some idea of when it would come out. It is a priority, says Spencer. The thing I would love about our E3 2019 show was 60 games in the first party games. I could tell you when those all were shipping and I can play those games, most of them here, and can put my hands on them and make promises. So with that in mind, here's everything we know about Fable 4 so far. Now before we get into that, I will say this, guys. Another reason why I believe Fable 4 is going to be coming out, even though it hasn't been announced yet, just the fact that Phil Spencer is saying Fable and he's talking about it and not really elaborating on it, but the fact that he's even saying Fable and that the possibility of that, and you also look at Xbox and what Microsoft has done with buying multiple studios working on a ton of different projects that are going to be specific to the Xbox console, which would probably be the Xbox Series X is really what they're focusing on at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if Fable 4 gets announced actually this year in 2020, and we probably see it at some point 2021, maybe 2022. We're probably like, I would say if we get the announcement this year, we're probably 2 years away from actually playing the game. That would be absolutely awesome. But that being said, I would have to say, guys, even though he didn't say it, I'm pretty sure that Fable is pretty much confirmed at this point. Now, Fable 4 E3 2019 leak hints that major changes are on the way. Okay, time to run down what got included in the Fable 4 E3 2019 leak. Apparently, Albion has been destroyed by an asteroid that got wished into existence by a Mad King who took control of this tattered spire, the will-fueled tower from Fable 2, that granted the person who controlled it one wish once it was built. So now it's down to you to use time travel to save it, we think. Teresa and the guild are hiding away on another planet that you can access via a demon door, but if you want, you can ignore the entirety of the main quest and never become a hero at all. Which ties into the main quest, unsurprisingly, for anyone who's played any Fable games, plus the character creator is majorly in depth. For those who were miffed about the guns in Fable 3 and 2, you can rest assured that there are 0 guns in Fable 4. Oh yeah, and there's finally multiplayer. The whole thing is being made in Unreal Engine, so it should look pretty as heck. Now we just need to see it in action. And I'll say this, multiplayer. This is something that a lot of these games back then, back in the day, when the original Xbox, the Xbox 360, made the mistake of. And I'll give you 2 titles. Fable is one of them, and the other would be Dead Space. I think that they really lacked content, or just the content that you could really play, right? Other than, even though these universes are pretty, big, the difference, though, is that a multiplayer keeps you coming back, keeps players coming back to the game. And so a multiplayer with Fable, I think, is going to keep the fans of Fable, they're going to keep coming back to the game, especially if it's updated and there's, the developers are, supporting the title as much as they should be. I think that's going to be absolutely amazing. I think that could really help Fable be officially back in a major way. Perhaps this leak should come as no surprise, as in January this year, Eurogamer managed to get a scoop on the fact that Fable 4 actually exists, but won't be made by Lionhead. According to the report, which comes from sources close to the project, the next Fable is in the works by another UK-based developer, Playground Games. Earlier this year, the studio, which has made its name by creating the Forza Horizon series, recruited more developers for its new second office in Learnington Spa, with the aim of creating a team of around 200 to work on Fable 4. Fans will be pleased to hear that the next Fable will follow cues set out by previous games in the main series, with Fable 4 set to be another open-world action RPG focused on story and characters. So, the Fable 4 rumors don't stop there enough. Eurogamer's report... don't stop there, though. What was I saying? Eurogamer's report was backed up by an Xbox Live API leak that emerged a little earlier this year, which suggested that a Fable game with the codename Wisdom is in the works, again by a UK developer. A former Lionhead lead engine programmer, Don Williamson, also posted on Twitter that he knew a UK studio was working on Fable 4. He stated he thought the choice was interesting, but later deleted the tweet. WCCF Tech managed to capture the tweet, though, which read, okay, having no inside information, I totally know who's building Fable 4 now. Interesting choice. So, pretty much, guys, it's essentially confirmed at this point, Fable 4. Like I was saying a little earlier, it's basically confirmed. We just got to wait to see, like, some form of, like, I guess a trailer or something to officially confirm it, or official confirmation from Xbox. He later replied to another user who asked whether the studio was based in Brighton, another UK locale, but he said there wasn't a studio capable of the task in that area. The Fable 4 release date is probably a long way away. Now, it's looking increasingly likely that Fable 4 will get an official E3 2019 announcement, which obviously, guys, that did not happen we're already in 2020. So it did not give us, we weren't given an official E3 2019 announcement. The Xbox is struggling a little with exclusives nowadays beyond Sea of Thieves, Crackdown 3, and a handful of indie titles, so it would be a huge boon for gamers to know that something else is en route. First of all, Sea of Thieves, Crackdown 3, the big one that you're missing, though, is Gears of War, obviously, so Gears 5. But sure, you could say Sea of Thieves and Crackdown 3. Will there ever be a Fable PS4 release? Now, here's something we're definitely sure of. You're never going to play Fable 4 on PS4. The IP is owned by Microsoft, and because of that, you can put all your money on the fact it'll be exclusive to Xbox One and PC when it does eventually arrive. I 100% agree with this. The original Fable creators have mixed feelings about a sequel. Seeing as the original team behind Fable is no more, it's understandable that the folks behind the original series have some concerns about a sequel being made by an entirely new team. I have slightly mixed feelings, said Fable co-creator Simon Carter in an interview with Eurogamer. On the one hand, it's great for the UK games industry and very pleasing that Fable isn't dead. Indeed, it will be lovely to play one as a punter without coming out in hives. On the other, it is a little curious to get rid of the team that is uniquely expert in making Fable and then try and make Fable. Fable is a weird game and a tough one to deconstruct for a new team. That said, the team in question is very talented, and I'm sure they'll do a fantastic job. So I agree with what Simon Carter's saying as well. When we look at this, the team in question, right, Playground Games, they are obviously very talented at what they do, but going from Forza to Fable is two completely different realms. And I'm not saying that they don't know what they're doing, but I actually honestly think that Playground, I don't know if they're going to knock it out of the park with Fable 4. I think that maybe Fable 5, if that were to ever come out, once they get their footing somewhat. I think when you look at any new studio that comes in to start working on a game like the Coalition with Gears of War or 343 with Halo, it usually takes at least one game, maybe even multiple games, to really get it right. And so we're just gonna have to be patient with the Fable franchise. Just be thankful that it's coming back at least, and I'm sure they're gonna try to stay as true to the roots of the game as possible. Microsoft has always believed in the Fable IP. In early 2017, long after Lionhead closed, Xbox boss Phil Spencer actually tweeted that he thought the Fable series still had potential. That was about the time that people started to speculate that there might be a little glimmer of hope for Fable 4. It wasn't exactly evidence back then, but in light of the new information from the various reports, it certainly adds a little more official weight to all the Fable 4 rumors. What we want to see from Fable 4, so this is more like personal opinions. One of them, make combat more epic, but also more personal. Give the dog a bigger role. I can agree with that. Make all your decisions matter. I don't really agree with that one. What they say is original Fable creator Peter Molyneux famously always had grand visions of what Fable's morality system could be, but in reality, the gameplay never quite lived up to expectations or promises. Hopefully, with the power of Xbox One X and PC, we could see the morality system and overall decision-making get a decent overhaul for Fable 4. It would also help if your clothing choices weren't just cosmetic either. Yes, your morality changed your appearance, especially in terms of skin, but your clothes had no effect on your character's attributes or playstyle. Maybe in Fable 4 they could. So games that make your decisions matter, as far as like when you make a decision in a game, it can kind of like change the ending and such. I like those to a degree, but all in all, I like it. When I play a game, a lot of times I don't like playing that campaign over and over and over again. Usually, for me personally, I like playing the campaign one time through. I may play it twice on a harder difficulty, but I'll play it one time through casually, and then I like getting into the multiplayer, the co-op modes if those are there, and things of that nature. I don't necessarily want to keep going back and playing, through a campaign to see, oh, this decision that I make might change if I, do something else or, choose something else. So overall, I personally like just having a linear experience. You make decisions, but nonetheless, it all ends pretty much the exact same way. Enlist another all-star cast. I agree with that. Bring back the mini games. Sure, I would be down with that as well. Keep the silliness. That That's a tough one. I mean, keep the silliness. Although it's easy to go a little over the top, we're looking at you, Saints Row. There's a wonderful place that lies between that and being very boring indeed. And that's where Fable has always sat, embracing the silliness, the occasional black humor, and always individually quirkiness. If Playground Games or whoever is making Fable 4 can channel that ethos and charm, it'll help this series continue to stand out from the other RPGs out there. I agree. Don't go over the top like Saints Row or something like along those lines. Keep it within that, don't go. I would almost like them to tone down the silliness a little bit from where it is. I like Fable as a franchise that's, a little more, I would like it to be a little more serious than silly. Let's put it that way. But overall, guys, this is all really great stuff. I'm really excited about Fable 4 and the possibility of it. And at this point, guys, where is this game? Well, it looks like it's in development. It does look like it's probably a game that is in development right now, whether it's by Playground Games or someone else. And Xbox, of course, is keeping it under wraps right now. Let's hope we get an announcement here this year of 2020, and we can probably anticipate, seeing it in a couple of years from this point. And I'll, of course, keep you all updated as far as, as more information comes out.